respected trainer Abel Sanchez here at Summit Gym. You were in New York, then LA for the press conference. Gennady Golovkin, Curtis Stevens. How was the little quick mini press tour?
Actually, went well. I thought it was very professional. They both behaved themselves. Although Gennady, I don't see him doing any kind of boasting or anything like that. But They behaved themselves. Everything went well. Beautiful weather. The press conference in New York was actually in a room that was kind of outdoors with a nice patio overlooking the skyline. So it was very, very nice.
Given all of Stevens' boastful nature on the social sites and how he talking a little trash, were you surprised for him to be so respectful in person?
No, because I think that he probably had great parents. I think that he's very well mannered, very respectful. There was no cussing. There was nothing that really would indicate that he was doing that on Twitter or Facebook. Maybe it's not him that's doing. Maybe it's his friends. I don't know.
And I know when Gennady, after they left, they had a photo on Boxing Scene of Curtis Stevens had a funeral for Gennady, like a photo of a coffin that said Triple G, and all his friends were around it.
I think that those may be ideas from some of his friends. I think that Curtis understands that this is a business, and that is something that's not necessarily in this business. But I think that just by what he showed, his demeanor in New York and in Los Angeles, he's very serious about this, and he understands that the plane is over. He's got to get ready, and all that will really not be important come November the 2nd.
How does your gym change? How does the atmosphere change when Gennady's training here?
It changes a lot. I think the guys look forward to him coming because he works so hard, and it's an inspiration to a lot of the young kids. I think that they look up to him like they should, and he helps us. He helps the younger kids work.
How is it though? You have 2 months to get him ready, a little less. How do you make sure not to burn him out? How do you make sure everything is on point throughout a full training camp?
Well, we've always had a system here, and I've always had a system of working of how many rounds I'm going to spar him, how many days I'm going to work him on certain things, and it's nothing that's new. He's been through it before. He understands exactly what we need and the dates that we need it. So it's actually quite easy because he's willing to do whatever we ask him to do.
And you had mentioned, in the past how you feel Peter Quillin, how the people behind him, like Al Heyman and such, they're not interested in that Gennady fight. Can you kind of elaborate?
I don't think they're not interested. I don't think they've ever said they weren't interested. What I did say was that Peter, I was actually answering a question when I said this. They said that Peter was calling us out. And if he is calling us out, then he needs to talk to whomever makes the decisions for him. To call Tom Loeffler and put a fight together. I mean, he doesn't have a fight right now for October. Doesn't have an opponent. So obviously he's having just as hard a time as we're having finding opponents. So if those people that do make the decisions for him or they counsel him, let him make an offer to Tom Loeffler or come to Tom Loeffler, try to work something out so we can put something together at the first quarter next year.
And Richard Schaefer was on an article, Boxing Scene. The gist of his article, he said, Abel Sanchez is an excellent trainer, but maybe he doesn't know the business side. And he even said he might be in Big Bear Mountain, but he's far from the top. That's what a little jab he tried to have. Do you have any thoughts on him trying to get under your skin?
I think the gist of that was that he's trying to say that Peter Quillin is on cards that have high ratings. If that's the case, then maybe I was wrong. I stand corrected. But I guess it's because Peter's on the cards that the ratings are so high. I guess he's fighting on the undercard and the ratings are that high.
So basically what you're saying, Abel, Peter's not the main attraction of those high-rated shows, is that?
Well, no, but maybe I guess what Richard's trying to say is that the reason that those cards have high ratings is because Peter is on the undercard. People want to see Peter fight, I guess.
And if Golovkin gets rid of Stevens in dramatic fashion, do you feel that there will be opponents who kind of rise to the surface,
I think that once he gets rid of Stevens the way that I think he's going to, HBO has been stepping up. First of all, this fight would not have been possible if it hadn't been for HBO and what they did to make it happen. And because of that, I think that the next fight will be even a bit easier to make because HBO will be there. who knows who the next opponent is? I just hope that Gennady does his job in the ring, so it makes it easier for everybody else.
And I was gonna follow up on, there was an article, Floyd Mayweather's fights this weekend. ESPN, the magazine, had an article talking, and even on Pardon the Interruption on their show, talking about how boxing is dying, how a lot of people in the boxing game have countered it, said the sport's doing just as well as ever. What's your thoughts on the whole boxing is dying thing by mainstream people saying that?
I think the sport is doing well. I don't think it's doing as well as maybe in the mid 80s when Duran, Hagler, Hearns, and Leonard were the mainstays, but I think it's doing well. But I think we have to be careful that we don't put on shows that are with a lot of mismatches. I think the public is wisened up, and the economy is so bad that maybe they're not buying what they should buy because the economy is bad. So if we put on good shows, if we put on good matches, the public will keep watching and keep buying the tickets and keep buying the pay-per-views.
All right, thank you.